Congresswoman Heather Wilson's a Republican from New Mexico. I want to go to Congresswoman Wilson. You've been great to come on the show all these times, and you've been singularly available in these critical times, and I appreciate that. What do you make of this? I mean, Ted Stevens has a lot of friends. He's got critics, but he is the senior Republican in the U.S. Senate. He's been there longer than anybody, and looks like he's cooked. He's got 7 felony convictions today.
What he did was wrong. You can't pass. Put in your forms for your ethics report and have a problem with him. You've got to be straight about those things, and he lied on his forms. You just can't do that.
Let me go to Bob Wexler. Congressman, this issue is a personal issue, but it does affect the smell of Washington. This is a stink bomb. It may not be an Obermoff case, but when you get the top Republican going down on something that could be seen as trivial, but it's a lot of money. It's more money than Joe the plumber needs to start his business, perhaps. It's a lot of money, over a couple $100,000 perhaps, in these renovations and this chair that's at issue. Whatever you think of the issue, it seems like it's going to put the stink of corruption around the Republicans going into an election.
Well, it's a sad occurrence when any public official is convicted of corruption charges. But you're right, the politics are quite damning for the Republican Party 1 week before an election. And I think Charlie Cook outlined it quite well. How are Republicans going to react in terms of distancing themselves from Senator Stevens? It's yet another distraction for the Republicans when we Democrats, quite candidly, are laying out a very strong case on the economy. And Barack Obama today in Ohio laid out a very strong case for turning the page on the politics that have put us in this very difficult situation, both economically, foreign policy, and to a degree, I suppose, the occurrence of today with Senator Stevens will bolster that message.
Congresswoman, is there a difference, as you've noticed over the years, without naming names, in terms of which party has the most honest members?
No, I don't think that integrity is any way connected to ideology. And Robert, you and I can name both Democrats and Republicans, and they're sitting Republicans who are sitting Democrats rather, who are under investigation right now. So they are separate issues. I think this is a terrible situation for Senator Stevens up in Alaska, but I would disagree with Robert on his question about turning the page and kind of getting beyond controversy in Washington. These are important issues and very different candidates running for the presidency. One who wants to raise taxes, one who thinks spending is too high. They have very different views on how we need to change going forward to get back to strong economic growth. And I think the choice next Tuesday is very, very stark.
Are you confident or happy with the fact that the Republican candidate for president in these very trying times with huge issues facing us has come down on a closing argument which is so focused on immediate self-interest that I will not raise your taxes as his main closing argument, something that narrow? Do you think that has the lift of a driving dream? Is that the kind of thing that can inspire a country?
The most important thing that we face right now is a soft economy. People are worried about their jobs. They're worried about their retirement savings. They're worried about whether they're going to be able to buy the small business they've always dreamed of buying. That is the most important issue going forward. And Senator Obama has argued in favor of, bigger government and spreading the wealth around, whereas Senator McCain has said that is the wrong direction to go in. We need a free enterprise economy where everyone can achieve their dreams.
What's wrong with spreading the wealth around, Congressman Wexler? Our progressive income tax system is based on the idea if you make a bundle of money, you pay a much bigger percentage of your income in taxes because you're better able to do it. If you make very little money, you're starting off in life or you've had a tough life just making an income, you're not taxed at as high a rate as people who've got a comfortable income. That's been the nature of our society going back to the beginning of the 20th century. Why is it in disrepute now?
Well, it's not in disrepute in the context of the truth about Barack Obama's policies. Barack Obama is calling for a tax reduction for middle-class Americans. It's very simple. If you make $250,000 or less, your taxes will go down under Senator Obama's plan. Also, if you're a small business, under Obama's plan, you'll get tax credits for new jobs that you create. You'll get tax credits for health care that you provide to your employees. There's a very stark difference. Ms. Wilson is correct between Obama and McCain. Obama believes that we rebuild this economy from the bottom up. we help the middle class, and then it'll trickle up. The other side, Mr. McCain, Senator McCain says, let's do it just the way George Bush did it, give it to the upper crest, and hope that it trickles down. We have had that experience for 8 years. It has failed. And in the 2 years that John McCain has run for president, he hasn't given us one single example of how he is different than George Bush on the economy. So it's time for a change. Yes, it is time to turn the page, and Barack Obama has ambitious economic plans to assist people to get America working again in both blue-collar jobs and green-collar jobs, and this is what the American people are thirsty for.
You know, Congresswoman, I want to go back to something I started with. There's this big news tonight of the corruption convictions on 7 felonies charges against Senator Stevens, the ranking Republican, the senior Republican in the U.S. Senate right now. What does it feel like to be a member of Congress who's about to retire? I was just talking to a senator who's about to retire after 30 years of a cleanest possible record. Does it bother you personally that one of your colleagues looks like a crook?
Sure it does. And there's part of me that says, you're judged by the company that you keep. But if good, honest people don't choose to step forward and serve in public life, then who are we going to be governed by? So you choose to try to, in my office and in my service, I tell everyone that works with me, we stay on the white side of gray. We try to do the right thing for the right reason. And then you're judged by your constituents on your record of having done so. But I think that what Senator Stevens did put a stain on the United States Senate, both Democrats and Republicans.
Well said. Thank you. You can't badge that. I'm not going to let you respond to that, Congressman Wexler, because nobody can beat that. Thank you very much, Bob Wexler. Thank you, Heather.